Good morning. My name is Melissa Solivan. I am a guidance counselor in New Jersey, Pfeiffer Middle School. And I was just asked to talk to you a little bit about what unconscious bias is. We see biases throughout our day, every single day. What is bias? A bias is a prejudice in favor or against one thing, a person, or group compared with another, usually in a way that is considered to be unfair. Biases are held um, with individuals, with groups, or institutions, and they can have a negative or a positive consequences. So the biases can be a positive and it can be a negative. There are different types of biases. There are definitely two biases that we go by more often than normal, which is the conscious bias, which is also known as explicit bias, and the unconscious bias, also known as implicit. So, what we're going to talk about today is the unconscious bias, the implicit bias. What's an example of an unconscious bias? You're probably thinking that. An example would be a team is decided between two proposals. One person thinks proposal A is better, but the rest of the team is leaning towards proposal B. That person is swayed by their opinions and ends up voting for proposal B because everyone else did. So basically, we have a group of people wanting something or choosing to not want something. And we have one person that says, well, I kind of want to do my own thing, but is swayed, is pursued to follow the group, to be a part of what everybody else is a part of. That is what a good example of an unconscious bias is. We do it all the time. Sometimes we don't even realize that we are doing an unconscious bias throughout our day. Another good example of what an unconscious bias is, this will be more like a family base. We'll do it on a family base. Two families. We have two different families, both families. One family has a single mom, and the other one has a single dad. Each family has two kids. One of the families has two girls, and the other one has one boy and one girl. Both are needing assistance, whether it's financial assistance, mental health assistance, or educational assistance. Because the single dad and the other one is a single mom, their different agencies will look at the male caregiver differently. So men, single dads, men, are viewed differently as caregivers than moms. We always see single moms, we rarely see single dads. So when we do see a single father, I don't want to say red flags come up, but people become like, oh, well, what happened? Oh, well, why is that? That's not normal. That's weird. So people become more questionable, more leery when there is a single father. He is not only the head of the household, but he's also the provider. He's the caregiver. He's the emotional, fearful, plays both roles of mom and dad. Where we have it as a single mom, she struggles with all those same issues, but she will be attended to faster than the dad because she's a woman, because she's a mom, because she's a female. Minimum wage workers, they have the highest level of education. The highest level of education for them is high school. Yet females will receive more help from different places and more assistance than male households. So you can have these two different single parents, a mom, single mom, and a single dad. Same educational level, let's say high school education. The mom will get more help. And we do that unconsciously. We're not doing it to be like, hey, oh, we gotta help her because she's a single mom, she doesn't have anybody. It's more like, oh, wow, let's help her, when you don't even realize that you're treating her differently than the single dad. This is an unconscious bias that we have, that we created. It's the men versus the women. We see it daily in our daily lives without even noticing that we are seeing this. Um, some of the things, some of the strategies that you can do for yourself, um, some individual stuff that you can do to catch yourself or to help yourself try to fight these biases. Um, Self awareness. We all think that we are being self aware and we are, oh yeah, I noticed this, so I do this. A lot of times we don't, and we don't even realize that we're not doing that. We're not being self aware on the actual issue that is presented to us at that time. We're using our biases to make a decision. The implicit association test. This is a great way to get a better understanding of your own self awareness on unconscious bias. Um, it is it's called the IAT test, which is the implicit association test. You can find this online. I can give you guys the website for this test. It measures the strength associations between concepts and evaluations. So, an example would be good and bad is evaluations of good and bad, and some concepts would be gay people, the LGBTQ community, and African Americans or Latinos, and stereotypes, athletic, clumsy, things like that. Those are the unconscious things that we just kind of think about without even knowing that we are seriously having these thoughts in our head. The main idea is making the response easier and when closely related items are shared with the same response. So I'm going to share the website with you. It's an interesting test to take. I took it. I thought it was quite interesting. I work with people all day long. Like I said, I'm a counselor. I work with all different kinds of people all day, every day. It's good to see where your head is when you don't realize where your head is. Another thing we could do is just understanding the nature of the bias. Like, we have to be able to understand it. What are the strategies of categorizations that give rise to the unconscious bias? It is a normal aspect of our human cognition. Like, we know this is happening. We know we do it all the time, but you don't realize when you're doing it. You don't catch yourself doing it. Understanding that this is important. This is a concept that we need to do within ourselves in order to help all individuals approach their own biases and become more informed in an open way. So, in order for anyone in social work or counseling or education or even the medical field, we have to be able to be more aware of ourselves and what we're seeing and how we're handling situations so that we can help others and inform others and catch others when they are doing these unconscious behaviors.